Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? This is the Steel Factory Podcast. Welcome to episode 414. My name is Rion. I'm joined by my co-host Junior today.
What's up? What's up?
All right, so this is week 6. Week 6 preview. Steelers going to Vegas, play the Raiders. We're going to dive deep into basically the keys to the game, the state of the team, because shit's kind of weird right now. We don't know if Russ is playing it or Fields. I know for the first time, Russ was a full participant at practice yesterday on Wednesday during the week. So he has another 2 days to basically prove his case that he's ready to play. So we'll go into that, what we think is kind of happening right now. We had the whole George Pickens deal, and then we'll dive into like the Raiders and, basically the state of their team. And opening thoughts. How we feeling?
I mean, I want to say I feel good, but I've been feeling good the last couple weeks now, and it's like whenever I was feeling bad, I think we were doing better, right? The moment I got a little confidence, we fell off. Like the Raiders, obviously, like another dumpster fire team that they've put out this year. They're bringing in their backup quarterback instead of, I think, Gardner Minshew. They don't have Devontae, and they have like scandals, and they're handling that like trade request like a bunch of teenage girls, basically. Um, I so I want to say we're good. I think we're good, but at the same time, I'm not very confident in this team anymore. Not in the sense that like oh we suck and we don't have any talent, but in the sense that like we've been weird, and I don't want to. I don't know what to expect. I feel like I can't count on them to be consistent or to like consistently improve at all.
Yeah. I mean, the consistent part comes from the fact that the master plan or game plan of trying to win games, right? We want the offense to just protect the ball. They're not opening up the playbook as long as we're up or it's tie game, pretty much, right? They're
I don't
playing
even know
super
that it's like
conservative.
about
What
opening
happened?
up the playbook though. Like like last week we saw so many guys dropping passes.
Right,
We
yeah, that
have a
too.
completely like we've had 5 different starting lines this year. I think this is the first week we're going into like the same starting line as the week before.
So they should be better, right?
It
Right?
I mean, if you want to say that, sure. Like we're rocking like third stringers, and like there's 3 rookies on the line, or 2 rookies and a second year guy, right? Um,
Yeah, and then
but
and Dan
apparently
Moore,
Dan Moore
Samoa.
is the most improved player in the league from what I've been seeing, at least on Twitter. But I don't know. Like I'm not convinced it's like about opening the playbook. I'm more. I think it's more about like some guys are not making the plays they should be making, or making the catches they should be making. Obviously, there's like effort issues, but yeah, like it does seem like we're not letting Fields. We're not using Fields to like the fullest extent that we could, and that we saw with the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go back to that Colts game a lot because it's the game where our offense moved the ball the most. They put up 24 points. They had 3 touchdowns in one half. Granted, they were down 17-0 at one point, so something had to happen. Um, and I mean, you can go back to, they had to play against the prevent defense, but I think for most of that second half, it quickly became a one-score game, so they're not playing much prevent, right?
Yeah, I don't. It's tough to say like what really happened. I think we just started using Justin Fields in a way more aggressive way. There were more. He started taking. I don't know if there was like play action runs designed specifically for him, or if it was like if it was a designed pass play that he just decided to like, what, this isn't
Probably
gonna
was a
work after
read,
he saw the first read.
a
Yeah.
quick read option, yeah.
I don't know if that was what we were doing, but the offense was definitely like it was really moving the ball, and it was getting in positions to score, and it got into like a few positions to score. Um, but there were also a couple drives in there where it did just stall out, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the same could be said for this Cowboys game too, more recently. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I just want to see the offense be more aggressive. I want to see the defense force more 3-and-outs, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we could talk about how opportunistic they were and forcing turnovers in the red zone. But at the end of the day, Dak had like 350 passing yards, and the run game looked really
Yeah.
good too. That's really what it
No, yeah,
is.
and I think what happened is that obviously the game both teams started off really slow. The Cowboys really couldn't get anything going, and then Highsmith went down, or not Highsmith,
Herbig, yeah.
Herbig went down, and he was already like our second stringer for that spot, right? So it's tough to it's tough when you're generating all of this pressure, and then you're instantly like not generating much pressure at all because they can double team TJ, triple team TJ, with
Because there's
without
no threat on
leaving.
the outside, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
The other side.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Dak has all this time to throw back there, and guys like CeeDee Lamb are gonna get open. Not that he torched us or anything, but obviously, Tolbert had a couple of nice catches. But anyway, like enough about the Cowboys, right? Like we couldn't get any pressure on the Cowboys. Hopefully, playing against Aiden O'Connell, you know, who's definitely like several tiers below Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dak is a lot of things. He's a starter in this league. He's probably like a top 10 quarterback, at least minimum. Um, so Aiden O'Connell is not that. He's not good.
Right.
He's
Okay.
not.
So that was Gardner Minshew. They're going to Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders are 2-3. Why did I think they were 1-4? Who did they beat? But before we get into like the Raiders, injuries. How are we looking in practice? I mentioned Russell Wilson back to a full participant. Roman Wilson, where is he? Do we get Highsmith back this week as well? That'll be huge. And then we're looking at Jalen Warren and Cordell Patterson as well.
I think I saw we're not getting Highsmith back this week, and we're not getting Herbig back either. So
Yeah,
it's
her
gonna be
big.
running the same thing. Lucky for us though, even though even though like going back to the Cowboys, like Dowdle is not like some crazy talent. And he did kind of light us up a little bit. He basically had a career day against us. The Cowboys are still like a good offensive team, right? Uh, and they have decent run concepts.
Yeah.
They just don't have a lot of talent back there. The problem for the Niners, for the Raiders, is they have a terrible run game, like legitimately terrible run game. I think we're going to be seeing Alexander Madison back there or Zamir White. Neither of those guys are anything special at all, like career backups, both of them. They have terrible run concepts. I've seen guys talk about like this is a historically bad run game, like going back like the last 20 years, right? Which is also like, okay, like this should work out in our favor, but it's also one of those super jaded moments where you go like, oh, they're gonna fucking drop 150 rushing yards on us today.
How did the fucking Raiders beat the Ravens? I'm looking at it now. Okay, Devontae
They
Adams
just
did play that game.
the Ravens are kind of like they're really good against the run, and
That was week 2 as well.
they're they're pretty bad against the passing game, dude. The Raiders just completely abandoned the running game because it's terrible, and they're going against a good run defense.
All right, hold
And they
up.
just started airing it out, and the Ravens really couldn't do anything.
The Raiders' 2 wins are against AFC North teams. Now I'm nervous. They beat the Browns as well, but the Browns are the Browns. Um,
Can they sweep us?
are they gonna sweep the North right now? Well, at least hopefully the other 3 teams. But yeah, I mean, Raiders are in a weird spot too. What did they finish last year? They were out of it, right, for a while.
I don't know. I remember
They fired
they
their
seem
coach mid-year. We played them
they're
last year
probably
as
like a
well.
they're probably like a 7-10 team.
But yeah, I mean, who are we getting back though? I forgot. We kind of left that off.
Maybe
Roman
maybe
Wilson,
Warren.
Warren. Warren's missed 2 games now. The Colts and the. Oh, even before that, he was kind of banged up, right? He didn't really play much in those first couple games.
He played. Yeah, he didn't. He only played.
Like he was limited to start because they kind of wanted to work his hamstring back in, I think.
Yeah.
But now is it still the hamstring or was it a groin? Or
I'm not sure what it was. I was watching a few clips here on Twitter, and people were saying that he looks good to go. He looks ready. Tomlin said that he was doubtful on Tuesday, but the videos I watched were from Wednesday, and people were saying like, okay, looks like he's explosive again, or not as explosive as he was, right? He looked ready to go, right? And I think he said somewhere that like he's gonna do whatever the coaches want him to do, but he feels good and he feels ready to start playing again. As far as like Roman Wilson goes, I think a lot of people are really being like when the vibes were good, it wasn't a huge deal, but right now the vibes are bad and people are kind of desperate and looking for answers. I think people are acting like Roman Wilson is supposed to be this like saving grace, like premier talent at wide receiver when he was never that. Like he's gonna be. I have confidence that he'll be good, right? But he was never gonna be like this amazing player that's gonna save our season from the get go.
Well, I mean, here's the bottom line. He is a day 2 pick in a position group. We're really desperate for more depth, more answers, more talent, pretty much. So everyone's gonna want that. I mean, yeah, I trust that he's not come on be this number one. He's gonna be a good slot receiver at the end of the day. But we need a guy that could get open, and that's pretty much what he could do, right?
Yeah, we need a guy that can create separation like Deontay could. Um, just
Yeah.
basically someone to fill in that kind of profile of player.
I pulled up our injury report from yesterday, and wow, it's pretty long. Russ was full. Najee resting. I guess that doesn't really count. He just didn't practice. Demonte Casey has an ankle. Jalen Warren was limited with it's a knee now. Minka resting. Her big hamstring didn't practice. Highsmith groin didn't practice. And that's really it. Cordell Patterson didn't practice. DeMarvin Leal, I know he's someone that probably could have rotated in with Highsmith and Herbig out. He didn't practice at all, and he got injured as soon as he went in after Herbig against the Cowboys. He has a neck injury. So we're depleted at the outside linebacker position besides TJ Watt right now.
I think Tomlin said we're going to be running Loudermilk there.
I saw that too. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
People were talking about putting Peyton Wilson there, but I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think, first of all, I think he's a little too small.
He's a little too small, and he's just really good, just sideline to sideline. I was watching the game.
Yeah, I don't know why we
really
would move
good
him.
at sideline to sideline from the middle linebacker position. I'd like him to start getting more downs, as long as it's not like short yardage. I think that's where you go to Landon Roberts for sure. But yeah, I like Peyton Wilson on those like 2nd and 10s, 2nd and 8s, 1st and 10s.
I think we're gonna need him, especially against the Raiders, who are gonna be passing a lot because their run game's terrible, and obviously no Devontae. So who's gonna get the ball? Who's gonna get all the targets on the team? Brock Bowers, like a fantastic, like generational tight end, and receiving talent, basically. So we're definitely going to be utilizing all of our linebackers to try and cover him and make sure that he doesn't just beat us by himself, or maybe that's the point. Like make him beat us by himself and just bet on us not letting him.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that. So we'll see. I think he's going to be our biggest concern. I think the Raiders also have Jacoby Myers, who's he's good. He's a good like wide receiver 3, but he's gonna be their main guy, and that's problematic. So the Raiders are very depleted on offense without Devontae. They don't have a run game. They can only pass it to their tight end, really. So we'll see. Everything is lining up for our defense to be able to really control this game for us. What about the defensive side of the Raiders? What do you know about that?
And Max Crosby. Is that it?
I think that's basically it. It's Max Crosby and I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. The offense needs to, just get control early, I mean, you don't need to build like a 20-point lead, but dude, just jump out, score a touchdown on your first drive, let the defense cause, 3 and out, and then just try to build from there. I feel like that's what we should be trying to be doing now. You know what I mean? Again, it's a team we should beat, and that's what makes me nervous first and foremost. I'll bring up the betting odds in a second too, once we want to get into our score predictions. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna talk about our offense on their defense, though, it starts at quarterback, and we don't know who's gonna play right now, right?
I think Tomlin said that Fields. We're gonna move forward with Fields, right?
I mean, I guess in preparation at the start, because they didn't know how much of a full participant Russ was gonna be, and he ended up being a full participant on Wednesday. But again, it really is just kind of building on that one day you had and seeing how good you feel on the second day. So what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I would hope we go with Fields. I think Fields is a more interesting player to watch. I know
it's better for the long term, which is honestly, I hate saying that, but I think both guys give you a better or the same chance at winning, I'd rather go with the guy that's going to be beneficial long term, perhaps, right?
Yeah. Like if you're gonna be building a team, if we're building a team, right, we're very much in like the building a team phase, not competing to win. We still need to make sure we like exhaust all of our options at the most important position. So we need to figure out like, is Justin Fields someone that we can actually win with, you know? And we need to keep playing him. We need to keep pushing him. We need to keep trying to develop him as much as we can. And I think that means really starting him for the year and seeing what we have with him, and then going into the offseason and going from there as far as re-signing him or letting him walk, right? But it's also important just to like understanding what it takes to develop a quarterback, right? Because we still need to practice, in a sense, the coaching of a project quarterback,
Yeah.
right? Like Russ is a finished product. Ben was a finished product. Obviously, with Pickett, it didn't go super well. So this is another opportunity to like keep working on like what are the problems that a young quarterback is going to face, and how do we mitigate them, or how do we help them overcome them. Um, so I think it's just like we need to focus on the quarterback position and building it up, even if it means riding with Fields in his highs and lows.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the lows haven't been that bad, right? I mean, it's hard to be really bad when, I mean, I'm going back to this. The playbook really isn't that open. We're trying to run the ball a lot. We're not really taking shots downfield. Um, we're not believing a whole lot of decision making in Fields' hands, right?
Yeah, we're not really throwing the ball much. We're not giving him a ton of responsibility to be the entire offense. We're making him really game manage. And I think that's where like a lot of the excitement was like Fields' biggest problems coming into this season and going all the way back, through his whole thing with the Bears, is like he cannot like run the short game, run like short passes. Like he can't like run a standard offense.
Yeah.
Um, and he has a really great deep ball, and he can make some really good plays out of structure, but like he can't run like an efficient like short offense. And coming here was like, oh, he really started to do that. So people started thinking like, oh wow, we're developing him like
Yeah,
crazy.
you saw that at the
Like
Broncos and Chargers game specifically, right? You were getting
yeah,
really, really excited. Yeah.
and then you saw like people on Twitter saying like, if you could give Fields 50 million for the next 2 years, would you do it right now? Like it was like no, dude, it's been 2 games, and he did essentially like what Joe Flacco can do as coming in as a backup, right? Like just make some quick passes,
Yeah.
nothing crazy, when like kind of walk you through the games. Um, so we haven't really let Fields be like play the quarterback position. It's like what we do. What happens with like a lot of Shanahan offenses? We give him like really really easy reads, a lot of short routes, a lot of like telling him exactly where to look, and if it's not there, dump it off. Right? Like
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing, and he's had like really nice plays out of structure where he gets really creative with like his arm angles, and how he's throwing it, and he has a
Again, the
great deep
Colts
ball.
game right there. We're gonna go back to that because we saw good flashes there, a lot
Yeah,
more
or
than
even
yeah.
even last game, like there was a lot of really good balls that he got out there, and Pickens dropped it. Hayward dropped one. Van Jefferson dropped one I think it was Van Jefferson dropped one on the
Yeah.
sidelines. Um,
All on third
and all
down
of
too,
those,
man. It was
yeah, all of those were really really important plays. That just killed our drives and really killed the offense that we had. So yeah, we did look kind of toothless.
all right. So I guess put it just as simple as this. Are you on the side of getting more help or on the side of just moving to Russ? I mean, I guess you to do either one right now, right?
I think I'm on the side of getting I'm on the side of definitely getting Adams. I think or if not Adams, I want to get more help. I think there's no way we can move through this season and be a quote unquote like serious team
A
that it seems
contender.
like, yeah, like it seems that we want to be, and it seems like we're almost like cosplaying as, right? There's no way we can like move through the season and finish it off without making a move for another playmaker at receiver, right? Like the running back position, we can kind of leave alone. But if we can't get like a, Devontae Adams, obviously the biggest name out there, or like a Darius Slayton from the Giants, or maybe not Amari Cooper. I don't think the Browns would trade with us. Um, but there's a lot of receivers out there that aren't really being utilized by their teams very well, and they're on bad teams, and the teams are not gonna move forward with them, right? So we should be making moves to try and get one of them to pair along with Pickens, right? It can be Devontae Adams, and that's obviously like the super high end of the spectrum, or it can be someone like Darius Slayton, who's very, very decent. Like he'll be very, very like fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of
So
it comes down to, I mean, you want to finish that thought? My bad.
no, I was gonna say. So I just think we need to get more like good pass catchers around him.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see us try to build on what we've seen so far. I mean, obviously, you're going to have growing pains, and I want to say that was the Cowboys game. That was, yeah, I'd say that was Fields' like first bad game, or just not a game that he improved on in the previous one. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see us go to rust so far or so fast here. I'd rather see us, try to continue to build on. Right now we're 3-2 with the opportunity to get a 4-2. So yeah, I'd like to see us continue to build on that. I mean, we've seen reports on Adams all throughout the week, throughout the weekend, Sunday morning. The people like to drop those bombs. We have a good deal on the table, a heavy deal, whatever, and then people want to talk about, are we going to be able to extend Adams beyond this year? I guess that's a lot on the Steelers. What they're trying to do, they want to know that.
Yeah, I think I saw that that's something we really preferred, which I think is good. And I saw that I saw some people saying like the longer this kind of deal gets, or the longer the Raiders take to trade him, the better it is for us, right? Because they're not going to trade him to us.
And their
right before we play.
sellers the other sellers are kind of off the market right now. You saw the Jets fire
Yeah,
their coach, and Derek Carr's down right now. They're starting Spencer Rattler this week. I don't know how much that
yeah.
means, but
No, yeah. So I mean, like obviously, Devontae wanted to go to the Raiders because of Derek Carr, and then now he's with the Saints, so that would be like the only reason. Obviously, like the Jets because of Rodgers, that would be that was like the big thing, and maybe them firing their coach is also like no, they're trying to really go all in this year, and he thinks this team is ready to compete. That's what I think his name is Woody Johnson. That's what the Jets owner was saying. Like this team, I think can compete more than we are. So maybe he thinks like, hey, this team is better than it is. Like we just need to change the head coach. And I'm sure there's more stuff going on in the background over there. But that could also mean like they're not going to make moves for Devontae Adams, or they're not going to make super aggressive moves for Devontae Adams because they think they're already kind of over the hump, and it's just a matter of personnel and the coaching side.
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I like that. I like that idea that the longer this drags on, better for us. I mean, we have to Halloween, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I think the trade deadline's like November 3rd or 4th or something.
Well, Halloween's on a Thursday, so I think I'd have to be before that Sunday, like November 3rd, November 2nd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we'll see. We will see. We're about 3 weeks out now.
All right, a little bit of a hot take before we move on to like the betting odds. I think even if Fields throws 3 interceptions in a game, like I would prefer to like keep that guy starting and just keep him going than put in Russ after Fields has a bad game. If that's like the thing that's I don't know if we have to trade Russ for that to happen, or if we just have to tell Fields and Russ like, look, you're gonna be the guy. We're gonna let you fucking sling it, and maybe that's what's gonna let him kind of,
develop.
Develop and play a little less contained.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. Like that's what I want out of this year. I don't think we're gonna win it all. I want to see Fields play as good as he can, and whatever that might mean. And that definitely means like letting Russ kind of sit in the background, or even trade him or cut him if that's what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there. I know. Geez, I had a point that just slipped my mind. I think though, from what we saw in the Chargers, the Broncos, the Colts game, I think Fields has kind of built up enough stock for him to have another shitty half and still roll forward with him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think we should be in a rush to bench him because that's basically what happened now at this point. I mean, Russ is highest on the depth chart still, but that's what it'll feel like. The guy started 5 games for you. You won the first 3, you lost the last 2. And part of that is because this team's kind of banged up right now. And I think that's really what the bigger picture is. Even though people want to point to the offense sucks. I mean, we had a formula that worked the first 3 weeks and it just hasn't the last 2 because um, the defense is kind of banged up and we're missing key components in our run game. Warren, and now Patterson too. But yeah, I mean, every team has injuries. We just got to try to get past it. And, we got to point to like other ways to win. And that's probably from passing the ball a lot more efficiently. And yeah, that's really my only point now. I'm getting really frustrated and I'm trying not to talk about it a lot because it's kind of been a repetitive thing that the offense just really looks so slow, dude, out there. Starting slow and then
Yeah. Everything looks really hard for this offense. I've never seen a drive like even the drives that like go for touchdowns and whatever, like it feels like we're trying so hard every single
there's no
play.
home runs besides that like Calvin Austin slant
Yeah.
against the Chargers, right? It was just kind of like everything's just really not methodical, but it's just like, all right, we have another third down. Please convert.
Like
Okay, we got it to a fourth down, 4th and 1. All right, cool. We're at
yeah,
midfield now. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like what I'm thinking is like, okay, let's say you're watching like Mahomes kind of dink and dunk
Yeah.
or like any of like the elite quarterbacks dink and dunk. Justin Fields dink and dunking looks so hard. Like it looks so like it just looks so hard. Our
There's
offense looks so
there's no yak at all.
yeah. Like I don't know I don't know what it is. I'd have to really study film for a long time to be able to tell you like where it's going wrong for us. But I like other teams make it look so easy and we just make everything look so hard on offense.
It's like okay, we got multiple OCs, multiple quarterbacks now since this has been going on. We'll see. We'll see, man. I mean, hopefully, I mean, just give us one good game. I'm not asking for a blowout, but just win by double digits here. But yeah, betting odds, score predictions. You ready for that?
Yeah.
All right. So, Steelers at Vegas, week 6. The over/under is 36.5, and it is Steelers -3 on the road at this point. How are you feeling? Lay it on me.
Oh man, Tomlin on the road as a favorite. Those are usually terrible as far as like spreads go. I don't know about outright winners. I want to say we're gonna win, but all that's telling me and everything in my body, all my bones, I feel it in my bones that we're gonna scrape by. It's gonna be like 17-19, like some ugly ass score.
Score like that. 17-19. So you have us winning, right?
I have us winning.
Dude, so honestly, man, we go down these skids
10-13.
almost every year. I think back 2 years ago, we dropped like 4 in a row. We lost like the Patriots, the Jets, the Browns. And then last year, everyone knows how we dropped those games against the Pats and the Cardinals and the Colts. Honestly, I think that's what we're in the middle of ultimately right now. And we've always performed terrible on the West Coast. Granted, we kind of got by that last year, but I just don't see us bouncing back just yet from what's been going on within this team. We're dinged up. We're not really good with our depth. I don't know. I mean, I thought our team was deep, but really, I don't see us coming our way with a win here. I have us losing 16-10. I don't think the offense really does anything at all this game. And we'll see what happens, man. I'd like to say we win, but honestly, I just don't think we're in a really good spot right now as a team. So yeah, I have us taking a loss here.
Damn. You're building up the anti-Tomlin narrative real early this year.
Dude, I don't even think it's like Tomlin right now. I just think that, I mean, it's just a lot on the offense, not really like just doing anything, and then we're not healthy on defense. I mean, it really is just our pass rush, but that's really all our defense really comes down to. It always runs through the pass rush, and we have no one opposite of Watt, and teams are just gonna double, triple team him, chip him up the ass, hold him, and they don't call those fucking holds.
They don't call us fucking old. The worst part is, I think if we lose this game, I can see Russ coming back. Like they're
Exactly.
gonna,
Yeah.
and then if Russ comes back, I mean, you can like hope like, oh, he's gonna play like MVP Russ, like that's the hope, but doubt it.
Yeah.
And people have been saying he's so washed the last 2 years, so another thing. Like I don't really care to see Russ. Like everyone's saying he's totally washed the last 2 years. I don't need to see that.
Right. I mean, I don't want to see 36-year-old guy on his third team in what, 4 years. I'd rather see the 25-year-old that's not trying to go to his third team in 4 years. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of like make or break for Fields, and it's also us trying to keep pace in the North right now in October, because the Ravens have won 3 in a row, right? Yeah, and we've lost 2 in a row. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us today. Any other closing thoughts, dude?
No, I think that's it. Hopefully we can pull it out and kind of dust ourselves off. There's like good locker room morale from what I've heard out here on Twitter. The sky's falling, but in there they're just like, damn, we gotta lock in,
Yeah,
So
and at the end of the day, you just gotta lock in. I mean,
it's true.
but yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully we pull this off, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I just don't see us winning this game. I think we're in the middle of a skid. But yeah, that'll do it for us today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, peace out. Here we go, Steelers.